Hi, I'm Sandy Allnock, Prima Ribbonista for May Arts, and I'm here to show you how to make some holiday button embellishments for your Christmas projects using some great May Arts ribbons. Let's get started. This week, May Arts is teaming up with Stampendous, and I decided to play with these fragments. They're color fragments, and they're so much fun. There's lots of possibilities here. And I created these buttons using some embossing powder with it and put them on some Christmas cards, but you can use them on all sorts of holiday projects. You can start with either a button die or a button punch, or you can even grab a circle punch and punch some holes in it. You can see here I have all different shapes, different sizes, and these are all staged for the first step of embossing. I'm going to do it with just one. This is one of the buttons from the memory box die. And I'm going to put just a normal heaping of embossing powder on top and shake off the excess. And before I start the embossing, I'm going to glue dot it onto the scrap that I'm going to work on. When I did that whole sheet, I did them all at the same time. So I'm going to start by heat setting it, and it's just a normal heat gun. You want to get one layer of the embossing powder on the bottom. That's going to help everything to stick on it. Now you want to cover it again with Versamark. This is Versamark ink that holds the embossing powder. But this time we're going to put the color flakes on next. And I'm using the lid of one of the tubs of color flakes. I'm going to put a few green ones in, and I'm going to use a few of the red ones because I want to do a mix of the two colors for these holiday buttons. You can see the size of them. They're kind of like goldfish flakes. And I would like them to be a little bit smaller on mine. So I'm just taking a little stick and I'm mushing them up a little bit so that they'll be slightly smaller. Depending on the size of the project you're going to do this treatment to, you may want them to be larger. I'm just going to tap a few of them onto the Versamark ink. Now they're not going to stick because that's not kind of what they do. What we're going to do in the next step is going to hold them in place. And that is going to be putting some embossing powder over the top. And you want a good, generous heaping on it. Now, those of you who emboss are going to know that that's going to blow away if you start embossing it. So what we're going to do is emboss it from down below. And I'm doing this at real time so you can see exactly how long it takes. It is going to take a while, especially if you use a heavy scrap like I did here, because the heat has to get not only through the scrap of paper that you're working on, but then work its way through to the button that you're creating. So it's going to take a little while, so you have to be patient, especially if you do a whole sheet of these like I did on my first try with these. But it's a really fun project. If you have some older kids, they might really get into the science of watching the embossing powder melt. I was talking with Tim Holtz once, and he said that was how he started in crafting. He watched embossing powder melt the first time and he fell in love, and you see what career it led him to. So you could start your children off on the right foot by getting them excited about embossing. So you can see the heat is working its way through to the button and starting to really melt all of that embossing powder down. And this is just clear embossing powder. I think it probably works with any brand. And it just melts and gets all ooey gooey. You can add a little extra heat from the top then, and that might smooth out some of your lumps. And if you'd like, you can add on more layers of embossing powder and more layers of the color flakes if you wish. But I'm letting the cream colored cardstock just kind of show through because I think that's a cool look. Now here's the card I made. I used a Stampendous image as well, and I used the button on it. I used one of the very large buttons, and I punched two very big holes in it so that I could thread through both the 3/4 inch red grosgrain ribbon and the jute so that I could have a double ribbon going through it. And I cracked the button a little bit as well so that it would have the same faux glass look as the image. If you'd like to see more on how to do that faux glass technique to a stamped image, you can click the annotation and that will take you to another video to show you that part. I decided to do it in 2 parts rather than bore you in one very, very long video with both of these techniques. This is how the rest of the buttons came out, and I tied all different kinds of Christmas ribbons through them. I can use them then on various holiday projects all season long. Thank you so much for taking a moment to watch this video. If you enjoyed it, please click the like button down below, hit subscribe up above to get lots more great ideas from May Arts. Click right here to subscribe to my own channel. Thanks so much and have a great day.